So the first thing I always immediately realize when I make videos like this is that I don't shave this stupid beard and mustache often. But every time I get on camera, I'm like, man, I should shave this. I probably look very undisciplined and like someone who doesn't give a shit, which is pretty much me. So I'm going to call this video Kratom and Gab Withdrawal Day 0 because it's the last day I'm going to use. I don't know if you watch this channel, but a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, I made a video at my car where I said I desperately need to get sober. And in this video, I want to talk about exactly why that is. First question is, do I have confidence that it's going to work and I'm going to get sober and stay sober? No, because I don't know anybody who has tried and failed as many times as I have. Basically, the past couple years of my life have been this weird obsession with, okay, I've been using for a couple days. I'm gonna get clean. And I'm just starting to realize all the little tricks my mind pulls to keep me using. One of the biggest ones is, oh, I'm gonna get some Ativan to help me with the withdrawal. I've done that once a month for like months. Every time it just doesn't work. And I'm like, is this my brain convincing me to just keep trying things to help withdrawal off of other things? And here's the funny part is, I see this in so many YouTubers that talk about drugs specifically. Is they'll be like, all right, I'm gonna get clean from Kratom. I've got some gabapentin to help with the withdrawal, and it kind of just keeps them through this vicious loop. So I figured I could make a video series where I document me getting sober. A lot of people do this. I've seen YouTubers do this when they try to quit smoking. Is they'll kind of like make videos, every video they'll mention, I'm quitting smoking, because it holds them accountable and it makes it feel like they have a purpose. And the purpose, I guess, would be that you're trying to help yourself, but maybe if you document it, you can help other people. Because we've all been there where we're like withdrawing off of Suboxone or something, and there's nothing that helps more than watching somebody's daily uploads of how it went for them. So the hardest part about this series is going to be, what exactly am I withdrawing from, which is very confusing and even hard for me to know, because I jump from one thing to the other. Like, I'll take Gabs for like 2 or 3 days, and then I'll take subs for a couple days, then I'll take Kratom for a couple days, and it's all my mind trying to convince me that I'm using something to get off of something else. So, for me, the past, I don't even know, dude, the past while, it's been gabapentin, Suboxone, but mainly Kratom. I look back to how many days I did Kratom, and I'm like, yeah, it's almost every day. Like, at least 4 days out of the week I've done it. So, to make it easier, and I don't want to have to explain this in every video, I'm just going to say I'm withdrawing from Kratom and gabapentin. To be honest, you can tell I'm not in good spirits in this video. I'm not going to try to be, like, entertaining or funny or whatever, because I'm actually it's a pretty solemn, desperate feeling to be like, all right, tomorrow I'm not going to take anything. But I told myself already that 7 days, no matter what, even if I don't get sober, I have to find out if I can do 7 days with nothing. And this video series is going to help me do it. And of course, I'm not going to want to document it. I'm not going to be in the mood to film or record, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to go on a rant here for a second. Like, to any addict out there who uses anything, you have to ask yourself, like, why do you want to get sober? Everybody's got different reasons. Some people have kids and they want to get sober for their kids. Some people have diseases from, like, using too long, so they want to not get, I know alcoholics who are, like, diabetic, and they just won't even go to the doctor, and their feet are all, like, screwed up. But for me, and here's, before I say anything here, I've gone to meetings before, and you hear stories where people are like, oh, I was on the street sucking D's for crack. I've never been in that position. I've never hit rock bottom in the sense where I was homeless or living on the streets. But for me, addiction is something that keeps me in an endless loop where it becomes impossible to succeed in the way that I want to succeed. I can almost, right now I'm not working, and thankfully I have enough savings to, like, last a little bit longer. But for me, it's become almost impossible to have, like, a consistent, well-managed life, because I'm always in two states of being. One, I'm high and I'm really happy and I'm really enthusiastic and I'm having a great time. Or two, I'm taking my off days where I don't do anything and I don't sleep and I'm miserable and I'm almost just like a comatose potato, almost just like clicking through YouTube or Netflix. So when you live that kind of back and forth highs and lows lifestyle, it's extremely hard to, like, set a goal and follow through with it. It's hard to, like, maintain a job. It's hard to maintain anything. And I'm starting to realize that, like, there was a Philip Seymour Hoffman interview I saw once, and he nailed it. One of the interviewers asked him, so you used to do heroin? And he was like, you could tell his face changed. Like, as soon as he heard the word heroin, he was like, yeah. Like, he loved, like, just absolutely, you could tell that it had a spell on him. So he said the reason he got clean is because he panicked, because he realized if he keeps up with this attitude and behavior, he's not going to be able to do the things that he wants to do, which I guess in his case was become an actor. For me, I don't exactly know what I want to be, but I'm obsessed with, like, productivity, motivation, and self-help, because at my core, who I really am is like a lonely, slobbish addict who will spend days just doing nothing, not showering, just drinking, just living in filth, not answering any calls. That's who I really, truly am. But the person I want to be is somebody that works hard every day and can feel accomplished and have self-esteem because of it. For me, I got into doing this thing called the X Effect years ago. And it actually happened when I first quit Kratom and I got sober for the first time. Was you basically wake up and you say, hey, what are the things I want to do? Like, I want to jog, I want to write, I want to become a writer. You put that on a list and you do it every day and then you exit off. I started doing that years ago, and had I not done that, I would never have created any of, like, the music or full albums or YouTube channels, videos. I never would have done any of that if I didn't get into self-improvement, which I'm a huge fan of. So, why did I bring that up? I guess I brought it up because I want to say that I am the happiest when I'm working hard and aiming at goals. But I can't do that anymore if I keep getting high every day and then taking 2 days off where I don't sleep. I can't. I'm not going to be able to do it. And I keep telling myself, Brandon, if you get sober, you could be massively successful at whatever you choose to do. And I believe that I can. Like, I have this YouTube channel. To be honest, and let's keep this between us, so many YouTubers are trash. There's just so much trash on YouTube where the creator has no personality. They're not funny. I swear, like, 90% of the jokes that I see in, like, video essays and YouTube videos, I'm like, could you have written a better joke? Like, is that all you got? It's so boring, and everybody acts the fucking same. So I'm like, I've made YouTube videos for like 2 years now. Like, if you check, I have other channels in the description. I had an old channel that I woke up every day and I would work so hard. I would work 15-hour days on my videos on the Digital Dystopia channel, because at the time I thought that I was going to change the world. I thought, in my mind, I'm like, nobody's talking about this. People need to start talking about this stuff. So I look back at that period as the happiest moment in my life, because I was waking up, pacing around, drinking coffee, working hard, just working hard, man, hard. Eventually, somebody started giving me Suboxone, which, by the way, had they not done that, I'd probably still be sober. I feel like drugs always find me. No matter where I go, no matter where, they find me for free. I was giving them for free. And I started taking those for, like, what I would call supreme motivation. Just put one under my tongue. I'd edit all day. Just perfect. Awesome. So then I got into doing that again. And then, for me, the Gabs, or Johnnies, as they like to call them, are my soulmate. I've said that in other videos. Absolutely. I hope I'm not shaking the camera. Absolutely gives me the greatest euphoria. It makes me happy. It makes me the person I want to be. But I can't do that anymore. And now I gotta learn to do without. And to be honest, I should probably start going to meetings. But the way my brain, when I think of going to meetings, I don't get positive emotions anymore. Because I'm like, this is the devil in me trying to trick me out of doing it. The devil, when I say, okay, I'm going to go to a meeting, the devil goes, yeah, Brandon, but you got to drive like 15 minutes to get there. And I'm like, true. And he goes, and you don't like being around a lot of people. What do you, like, for me, the hardest part of the meeting, which I've never even done, was staying after the meeting's over and talking to people. I don't want to do that, especially when I'm sober. I suck when I'm sober. Nobody wants to be around sober me. I described it to my friend recently. I said, when I'm not doing drugs, I'm not anybody. I don't have a personality. I don't feel like a person. So that's why it becomes so easy when you get sober to just click through YouTube videos. But then what happens is you get bored. And you start hating everything you see. You hate everything. And the days become so long. Like when you wake up on a sober day and it's 6 a.m, by the time it's like 11, you're like, dude, I feel like it's been like 3.5 weeks. Like, how long can this misery sustain itself? So it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fun. But a little thing I did this morning was I woke up just like any other day. Standard day, eyes open, and I immediately get that that feeling where you're like, all right, here comes misery on repeat. Here comes just normal day. And I just knew I felt sluggish, tired. I take Atarax to sleep, which, by the way, I took Benadryl for 2 years to sleep, and I found out you don't get real sleep when you're on Benadryl. And Atarax is essentially like another Benadryl that's kind of stronger and better for sleep. And I just woke up and I'm like, is today going to be like yesterday? Like, I just watched, I've been watching that House of the Dragon show. And for a while, I couldn't rewatch Game of Thrones because it was so terrible, the ending, that I couldn't even rewatch it because I knew what was going to happen to every douchebag character on the show. So, what am I talking about? So I was like, am I just going to binge Game of Thrones? Like, I got through season 1 to 3 in like a day and a half, which means I must have been just click at one episode after another. And for some reason this morning, I told myself, Brandon, why don't you pretend to be someone else for a second? Pretend you're a very busy, successful guy and that you got to get to work. Get to work, man. Like, pretend you're like, all right, now I'm going to go work. So I thought, okay, So I started pacing around really quick, which I didn't want to. Like, my natural body would have been like, oh, let's get the coffee. But I'm like, add some pep in your step. Essentially, fake it till you make it. And I started doing that. And I said, all right, I'm going to get coffee, then I'm going to get to work editing a video that I had footage for but haven't edited yet. So I did that, and I'm like, you know what, just do it. Just do it. So I did it, and I edited the last video that I uploaded, and I felt pretty happy about that. And I'm like, I remember I took off a week from work, and my job was so cool at this time that I even told everybody in the boss, I'm like, I'm addicted to gabapentin, I need to withdraw from it. And I remember this Indian, or I think he might have been Muslim, he came up to me, the boss, and he was like, it's all in your mind. What you don't understand is all in your mind. It's a mind thing. And I'm like, I wonder how much that is true, like, fake it till you make it. Also, what if you, like, took somebody that was taking Percocet every day? What if he got into a car accident, and then he woke up and he didn't remember the past 10 years? What would he think? Like, all of a sudden, his body is getting chills. Like, what if he didn't know? If his memory was erased, would he even know he was in withdrawal? So I wonder how much of it has to do with, like, just the general habit of swallowing pills. And after you swallow the pill, you start to feel motivated. You know, how much does it have to do with the mind? And there's been times where I've gotten sober for short periods of time. There's two ways to do it. You can either do it in a very positive, optimistic, Henry Rollins-esque sort of way, where you're like, oh, I'm going to lift weights and run, and you feel so confident you're going to get sober, and then it's an easy ride. Or there's the other times where you're just miserable, and you're like laying in bed, sweating, and you just know you're setting yourself up for failure. I don't know what type this one's gonna be. I don't have any particular reason to, like, want to get sober, you know. I always wonder, what if I met a girl? What if I, like, met a girl and we, like, fell in love, and she was like, I don't want to see you like this, get sober. How much would that motivation help? You gotta have a motivation, which I think that's why people with kids get sober, like, more than people who don't. It's probably because they're like, well, I gotta get sober for my freaking kids, you know? Like, they can't keep seeing me like this. At this point in my life, I have essentially nothing. Like, I don't have anything, really. I've kind of abandoned all my friends because I'm lazy and I don't pick up phone calls and blah, blah, blah. And I don't have a good career, okay? That's two things that make me suck. 3... Well, what else? What else is terrible in my life? The only real reason I want to get sober is because I want to know what it's like to just wake up and be like, all right, let's start the day. Also, I have pretty big ambitions. Like, I like make music and I like creating things. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, get sober and then continue to do those things and then blah, blah, blah. So that's my motivation. I don't know how long I'm going to make this video. I don't know if I hit all the notes. I could go into a rant about my whole drug story, but I'll probably save that for another video. So the rest of the video is going to be me explaining logistically how I'm going to do this. I basically don't have any plan. I don't have a backup. I don't have anything to help with sleep or withdrawal. All I can do is just not use. Also, I could go to meetings, but God, dude, I've been having this, like, I don't know if it's a hernia or acid reflux, but, like, you know, the heartburn feeling, but my stomach burns, so I gotta call the doctor about that tomorrow. I'm just gonna wake up. I'm gonna jog. I think I'm gonna go to meetings on my 3rd sober day. Because there's something about, like, going to meetings on day 1 of quitting something. I just don't like the idea. I would rather get 3 days clean, and then I have that confidence, and then I'm my real sober self. God, I keep shaking the camera. I'm going to go to meetings on day 3, and I'm going to request a sponsor. But the worst part is staying after the meetings and talking to people. I hate doing that. I never used to be this much of a cagey dude in a shell. I used to be able to talk. I can't do it anymore. I can't be social is hard for me now. No social. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to document it. But this is day 0. And I guess if you haven't watched this channel before, the 3 things I'm addicted to are Kratom, Gabs, and subs. I've been doing all 3 of those intermittently, like on 3-day binges. But for the most part, I think I've been taking Kratom the most. Not that it even really does anything. Kratom does almost nothing. It just makes you feel, it makes your brain feel like you're on something. And for me, I have this weird back thing, dude. Like, you know, so you have you have receptors in your brain, drug receptors, brain, stomach. That's why when people quit drugs, they throw up so much and their stomach hurts, because you have the receptors in your stomach. I wonder if I have receptors in my spine, because when I get sober, my freaking spine, it hurts. It hurts, and it's like it radiates this pain and weakness. It sucks. So, I guess that's what I'm going to do. I don't want to make this video too long, but I'm going to get 7 days sober no matter what. There's no option. I don't have another option. Also, I don't know how bad gabapentin withdrawal is. Like, the way that I do it is I'll binge on it for 2 days, and then I'll take a couple days off. But thankfully, for the past, 2 months, I have taken 3 days off in between my gab days. But I posted online, somewhere, I wrote, dude, am I going to have withdrawal? I've been doing it every 72 hours. Like, that, I shouldn't be addicted, right? And somebody wrote, oh, no, dude, you're going to have gabapentin has a really long half-life, so even if you take it every 4 days, you're still addicted. And that, I wish I didn't even read that. Why did I do that to myself? Now, in my mind, I'm going to be like, dude, I'm going to have gabapentin withdrawal. And if you've ever been through gab withdrawal, oh my God, sleep is impossible. And sometimes when you try to sleep, you fall asleep, but your brain zaps you awake. And I have this weird thing where I get paralyzed, and I have, false awakening sleep paralysis. So that's going to be terrible. Also, I know I'm going to have Kratom withdrawal, because every time I haven't taken it for a couple days, I start sneezing, which is a big sign of opiate withdrawal. Anyways, that's this video. Day 0. I'm going to make it 7 days, no matter what. Like, subscribe, comment on this channel. Come on this journey with me. I'll end it with a quote that was from somebody like George Washington. He said, I did not do it because it was easy. I did it because it was hard.